Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Sunday the 4th of May 2025. In today's Millwall news, we shall start off with the lowdown piece from the South London Press, London News Online.co.uk. The lowdown on Burnley 3, Millwall 1. Lions miss out on the playoffs after final day defeat at Burnley. It was not to be for Millwall in their quest to land a championship playoff place on the final day of the season as they fell to a battling 3-1 defeat to Burnley. Victories for Scott Parker's side looked like landing them the league title, but a late Leeds goal at Plymouth meant that they would have to settle for second place. Mihailo Ivanovic had given the Lions an 11th minute lead, however Josh Brownhill quickly cancelled that out and the hosts would go on to score twice more in the second half through Jaden Anthony and Brownhill adding his second. Here is the lowdown on the match. I'm going to give you the team because it wasn't in yesterday's thing, was it? So we've got Evans, Kramer, Cooper, Tanganga, Sturge, Honeyman, Denor, Saville, Aziz, Coburn, Ivanovic, and the subs were Leonard on for Kramer in the 76th minute, Wintle on for Honeyman in the 76th minute, Kundle on for Denor in the 63rd minute, Langstaff on for Saville in the 83rd minute, and Imaku on for Ivanovic in the 76th minute. The unused substitutes were Przewozny, Harding, Kelly and Matthews. Snapshot of the game. Millwall had the dream start. The returning George Honeyman crossed for Ivanovic, who netted his 12th championship goal of the season. However, just moments later, the home side were level. A long ball up to Ashley Barnes. He found Josh Brownhill, who slotted into the net as it was back to as you were. The home side were relentless in their attacks. Anthony and Marcus Edwards caused Tristan Kramer and Zach Sturge a lot of problems. I believe that's Jaden Anthony and Marcus Edwards, not Anthony Edwards and Marcus Edwards. Despite all of that, Millwall should have gone in at half-time in front after Kramer's ball found Coburn at the back post, but the strikers' effort came off of that post. Burnley's second half dominance finally resulted in Anthony making it 2-1. He got the better of Kramer from a Burnley free kick. Claret skipper Brownhill then sealed the deal in stoppage time with a free kick from just outside the box. Tactical approach. Alex Newell made just one change to the side that beat Swansea. George Honeyman was called in place of Luke Kundle. The Lions have proved to be a major threat when playing with two strikers, and Neil once again started with both Coburn and Ivanovic. It worked in the early going as the Lions got in front. As the second half wore on, the Lions must replace Ivanovic with Imaku as the hosts dominated and Millwall were struggling to get the ball to their strikers. Star man George Evans, the young keeper, kept Millwall in the game for as long as he possibly could, making a number of superb stops. Best moment, Ivanovic's early opener. It gave the away fans a real sense of hope. Unfortunately, his team were unable to build on that goal on the home side, were levelled just minutes later. A talking point down the pub. What might have been? It was always going to be a tough ask for the Lions to come to Burnley on the final day and win. The Clarets unbeaten at home all season and only lost 3 of their last 93 home league games in the second tier. After that opening goal, there were raptures in the away end, but before we even got to look at what it meant on the table, Burnley were level. There is no denying that this team over the last few weeks had given everything, but ultimately it was just a stretch too far for them. However, there is plenty to look forward to next season for Alex Neil and his side. What the boss had to say. The disappointing thing from my point of view is that we score the first goal and then go and concede straight away, which is a cardinal sin in any game. The manner of the goals we conceded was so frustrating for us, and the first one is a clean ball. We should do better with it, and then they have 2 ricochets which landed at feet. The second goal is a dead ball free kick, and we get done in behind, and the third one's a free kick, and George gambles and leaves the side open a bit too much. That should probably be covering, and the ball ends up in the far corner. So there you go. Now, looking ahead to tomorrow, Millwall's under-21s played their final game of the season on Friday. They won it. That put them back up into second place, but they're not ready yet. They're not done yet. Brentford are playing tomorrow. They're playing on Monday, and they can still, go above us if they win. If they draw, they ain't going to do that. So that game is tomorrow at 1 o'clock. They're playing at home to Barnsley. And realistically, I think, you've got to expect that Brentford are going to win that game, really. So, fingers crossed that that doesn't happen. But if you look at the table, they played 30 games, they've won 20, and they haven't won 10. Drawn 4, lost 6. So just based on those numbers, you would say there's a 33% chance that they don't win the game, and there's a 66% chance that they do win the game. So you got to be realistic. But we do hope we all gonna have our eyes on that game, hoping that Barnsley can at least get a draw. And we'll see if Millwall's under-21 season continues, because that would give us at least one more game at the Den. And then depending on the other result, I'm not quite sure how it works in the Northern Division. So if we finish second, we'll play Sheffield United, and Burnley will play Bournemouth. And we have more points than Burnley. So if Burnley beat Bournemouth and we beat the team, if we get through and we beat Sheffield United in the semis, the final I think will be at Millwall, because we've got more points than them. So there could be a potentially 2 more games at the Den, because these games, I think they do have to be played at the Den for the under-21s to play in. So, and that you can go to, or you can watch on Millwall TV. So that will be something to. But if you look at Barnsley, I mean, they did win their last game, but they've only won 7 games all season, drawn 9, and lost 14. So it doesn't look too good. They've scored 43 and conceded 59. So you've got to expect that Mill's under-21 season is over, but it ain't over till about 3 o'clock tomorrow. We will know if it's over, if it's not. And obviously in tomorrow's video, I'll let you know about that. And basically that's it for the news now. We're going to talk about stats. If you're not sticking around for that, thank you for watching. So we're going to go through the stats from the game. I was thinking about doing stats from the whole season in today, but I figured, I'd let the dust settle a bit and maybe do that maybe next week. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of empty time now to talk about, not very much. We're going to have some transfer speculation, I would imagine. Release list, retain list, whatever they call it. Contract negotiations, etc., etc. The fixtures coming out middle of June, etc. and stuff. So it's not going to be a lot to talk about. So over the summer, obviously, some days, if there's not much news, I might miss a day and just double it up the day after. But obviously, if there is massive news, I will jump on and bring you a video about that. So this is the match report from WhoScored.com. Millwall created a high number of chances relative to their possession, were effective for creating goal scoring opportunities from the flanks. We lost possession often and we were caught offside often. We attacked down the left hand side, we had a high shot frequency when in possession, and we favoured long balls and through balls. Attempts on goal was 19 to Burnley, 12 to Millwall, 14 to 7 open play, 4 to 4 set piece, and 1 and 1 counter attack. Our 1 goal from our 12 shots gives us an 8% conversion rate. Their 3 from 19 gives them a 15% conversion rate. In this division, 8% is around standard. 8 to 10% is standard. Anything higher than that, it's extremely, very clinical. So Burnley were very clinical in their shots. So, moving on. Here's the match timeline. The early goal with the assist by George Honeyman, and then they, equalised straight away. Ashley Barnes, got the assist for his studs up tackle on Zach Sturge. That meant that the deflected ball went through to Josh Brownhill. Now, see, we make a change. We make the first substitution, and rather bizarrely, we're getting absolutely battered. And Cundall comes on for Denor. Not sure about that, and I'm not sure because I wasn't sure about it at the time. And then 2 minutes later, they scored, and I definitely wasn't sure about it. Personally, I was thinking, maybe even to take Tanganga off, because he was a bit, he was a bit of a liability yesterday. But equally, then what they did later, maybe bring he took Crammer off, but bring Ryan Leonard on for Denor, and then move Crammer into the middle and play 5 at the back. Because Burnley were just completely relentless when they came out in the second half, because they knew that Leeds were losing, and they knew they needed to win the game, and in order to do that, they needed to score, and that's what they were intent on doing that. So yeah, I'm not sure about that, or maybe even bring Ryan Winter on for Denor. Obviously, brought him on later on in the game, but I mean, so yeah. So if you look at the club badges at top left, top right, the average player rating for Burnley is 6.9, for Millwall is 6.42. So that's a 0.5 of a difference. A bit of a large difference, but not that bad. It seems, obviously, because Burnley were coming at us wave after wave and after wave, and they only scored the 3 goals. That kind of affects the score of the players that didn't do well when they were going forward. And they gave the man of the match to Brownhill. He obviously scored 2 goals, and they gave him a 9 out of 10. And then Jaden Anthony got 8.7. He was absolutely running Crammer ragged, wasn't he, at times? I think maybe that's to some extent why Crammer was taken off. But you can see the rest of the Burnley team pretty much of a muchness in terms of scores. For Millwall, the highest rated player was Jake Cooper. I guess that was for his clearance off the line, which was very vital at the time. What does the T mean on George Evans' T? Last man tackle. Okay, when was that? It was early on in the game. He was here. What time? What minute is that? That's about the 12th minute, I guess. No, we scored in the 12th minute. They scored. So that would have been about the 20th minute. Okay, they've given him a last man tackle. Okay. But he got Jay Cooper 7.3, Coburn 7. So Coburn got a higher score than Ivanovic, although that could probably be explained by he had more time on the pitch. There's not that much difference, 6.8 to 7. So obviously, if he has more time on the pitch, he can get his score up by doing more things. Obviously, he didn't score. And Tanganga, 5.9. 5.9. Some speculation that, he might be off. Based on like the videos after the game and stuff, But not sure about that. I don't know. But I mean, if any scouts are watching that game, there certainly won't be going anywhere soon. He was very hyped up for this game, I think, especially after that goal winning. And he just needs to have a calmer head. Just didn't happen, really. Okay. So let's start going through this stuff. Shots 19 to 12. These are the players who had the shots. Femias is with 5. Coburn with 2. Hit the woodwork, of course, from about 2 yards out, which is some feat. Ivanovic, 1 shot, 1 goal. What more can you do? Surprised he went off, to be honest. I guess. I don't know why they took him off. Maybe he was just kind of fading a bit. But obviously you take Coburn off and then it's probably you kill the boy's confidence. But possession 71 to 28 as expected, and our goalkeeper had most of our possession. 3.5% of the match time was with the goalkeeper. That is telling. Pass success percentage 85 to 65. Denor was the highest passer, so in the midfield 80. At the back, Sturge 85, Cooper 83. George Evans pretty good, he's kicking pretty decent, 48. Coburn 53, Ivanovic 14. Maybe that was the reason he kept giving the ball away. and they took him off for that. That is pretty low. That is very low for a striker. Like, it's normal for a striker to have like 50% or maybe even like 30%, but 14%. If you keep misplacing passes, like, obviously for some reason WhoScored.com had given us a 4-2-3-1 formation. It certainly wasn't that. It was certainly a 4-4-2. Yeah. And again, Tanganga, 59% pass accuracy. Dribbles, 6-4. Aerials, 11-14. Aha, and again, Ivanovic did not win an aerial duel, apparently. So again, he scored the goal, but his passing was off and his aerial duels was off. Coburn won 9 of them, which is nearly as many as Burnley team as a whole, 11. And he won 9 for Millwall. So I imagine that's why he stayed on. Tackles 8-15. Corners 7-4. These are players who won the corners. There's one missing from Millwall, and that's a Maku. Dispossessed 8-5. So there you go. So now let's move on to this as we go down. So before we go down to Millwall, let's see how many shots did they actually have on target. So they had 19 shots. How many were on target? 9. So half of their shots were on target. So nearly 19 to 9 to 3. So that is pretty decent. So Millwall, how many shots did we have on target? So we had 12 shots, was it not? And we had 3 on target. We got 1 goal from 3 shots on target. And Ivanovic had 1 shot on target, and 1 goal. Not bad, huh? 18 chances to the ball. So if we go to the rankings, Jake Cooper 7.31, Josh Coburn 6.98, George Evans 6.89, George Honeyman 6.88, and Ivanovic 6.77. Which is telling. So you got 2 players there, the top 5. The 4th highest rated player and the 5th highest rated player only played 76 minutes. And you've got players down here who've played 90 minutes and didn't get as high a score as them. Oh god, Luke Condell 5.82. He had 30 minutes on the pitch. He was outdone by Langstaff, who had 7 minutes on the pitch, 5.9. Tanganga 5.93. Like I said, one of his worst games. Really didn't need that yesterday. Really didn't need that at all. Like I said, I probably would have taken him off because he was too hyped up. Like, I would have had a word with him and said, look, you need to calm the fuck down because you just cost us a goal there. We need you to be a match winner, not a match loser. And if you don't sort it out, I'm going to take you off and bring Leonard on, and Kramer can play where you are. I think he would have. He feels the type that if you challenge him, he will probably step up to the challenge like that. He wouldn't sulk and moan about it, but he probably prefers that kind of directness, I think. Denor 6.37, Wintle 6.31. Yeah, I mean, just a little all-round average day, wasn't it? An average day. Let's go through the offensive stuff we got in it. So we were offside a lot. We were offside 5 times. Wow, that is a lot. Femi Aziz twice, Coburn twice, Jake Cooper once. How does he get offside? Defensively, who did what? Tackles. Kramer with 3, Saville with 3. Like Sturge with 2, Casper Noor with 2, George Evans with 1. When was that? I must have missed that. Did I blink? So around about the 20th minute, apparently he had a last minute tackle with his feet. Or did they count a tackle if you do it with your hands? I don't know. Interceptions, Saville, Sturge, Tanganga, 1 each. Clearances, Jake Cooper with 10. Well, now you can see why he's the highest rated Millwall player of the day with 7.31. And then a big drop off to Zach Sturridge with 4, Tanganga with 4, Crammer with 3, George Evans with 3. Blocked shots, Jake Cooper with 5. Again, stand out. Next is Sturridge with 1 and Denor with 1. And we'll just have a quick look at this. So passing accuracy. The 2 players that were barely on the pitch. 2 passes, 1 pass, 100%. Zach Sturridge, 84.6 passing from 13 passes. 83.3 from Jake Cooper with 18. That's interesting That is interesting for Jake Cooper to have high passing accuracy. Because you would imagine he would be pumping the ball forward. But you can see we barely passed the ball at all. Like, who had the most passes for us? It was the keeper. The keeper had the most passes for us because he was the one most on the ball, because Burnley were just shooting and shooting and shooting, and it was either saved and he was on the ball, or it went out for a goal kick and he was on the ball. So he had the most action. 27 passes, he had 48.2 passing accuracy, which for a goalkeeper is pretty decent, I think, or for one that kicks it long, just doesn't do these stupid short passing. Long balls 25 to 11 accuracy, and after that it's Tanganga 8 to 3. So there you go. Now let's move on to fbref.com. You can see in the middle the XG is 2.2 to 1.8 from a score of 3 to 1. So we should have scored 2 goals, and they should have scored 2 goals. So it should have been 2-2 based on the chances created. It wasn't. We obviously know that Coburn missed that glorious chance. But what can you do? What can you do? So as we go down, possession they've been at 70 to 30, passing accuracy 83 to 64. They had 567 passes and we had 248. We had less than half the amount of passes that they had. Shots on target 42% to 33%, so 8 of 19, and we had 4 of 12. So their keeper made 3 saves and our keeper made 5 saves. So interesting. So if you think about the passing accuracy, 567 passes to 248. So they did all that passing. We did very little passing. But when you look at the chances created and the XG, 2.2 to 1.8. Yeah. Where are we going? We're going here. So fouls, 5 to 16. Oh, funny that. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? It's almost like the referee was like blowing up a lot when Millwall were on the ball. Huh? Corners 7 to 4, crosses 14 to 11, touches of the ball 676 to 361, tackles 8 to 15, interceptions 7 to 3, aerials 11 to 13, clearances of the ball 16 to 32, offsides 4 to 5, so they were offside a lot as well. Goal kicks 5 to 8, throw-ins 18 to 22, and long balls 66 to 69. So they were doing as many long balls as we were. So let's go down. If we look at the XG, you can see Coburn's leading it there, 0.9. Obviously, he had a shot from 2 yards out. That's even better than a penalty. A penalty is, from 10 yards out, and it's a 0.8 XG generally, and he got 0.9. But you can see, shot creating actions, he was up there. He helped create a lot of chances. He helped create the chance that led to the goal. He picked up the ball, passed it over to Honeyman. Honeyman crossed it in for Ivanovic to score. Coburn was involved in that. He was involved in 4 shot clearing actions. Honeyman was involved in 4 shot clearing actions, and George Saville was involved in 5 shot clearing actions. So, there you go. Now, what we're going to do, let's go through some of this stuff and see if anything stands out. This is the passing, which doesn't look the best, 50%. So Ivanovic, why was his passing so bad? 12.5 they've given him here. Well, yeah, oh, okay. So he only had 8 passes, so he wasn't getting on the ball. Because we weren't getting on the ball, he wasn't getting on the ball. So even the goal he scored, he was just the last man who touched it into the net. He didn't have any involvement in the play, was he? Can we find out how many touches of the ball each player had? Yeah, I don't know if we can do that. So in 8 passes, he only got 1 right. That's 12.5%. If you do and that includes 3 short passes. 2 of them weren't good. 3 medium passes weren't good. It's not like he was doing massive long passing to people. So yeah, but that will get you substituted if you keep giving the ball away, my friend. That will do that. Tanganga, 17 of 10. Or 10 of 17, should I say, 58%. So what was that about? Short passing, it's just long balls. So you can see he was just pumping long balls up. Or was he actually trying to pass it to someone, or was he just clearing it? I don't know, they could tell. But yeah, he's got 3 of 7, so that messed up his thing. And 4 of 6 on mediums. So it looks bad, and it looks worse than it is. It was, I think, trying to get it out. Yeah. Pass types. Defensive actions. Tackles. Tackles in the attacking third. George Honeyman. Challenges. Tackling someone who's trying to dribble past you. Josh Coburn did that once. Honeyman did it once. Saxted tried it. Didn't come off. And Tristan Kramer tried it. 3 of 5. That guy, the Jaden Anthony guy. Yeah. But look at Tanganga, 0 of 2. And yeah, that's not good. And again, they've given George Evans 1 of 1. When was that? I need to look back. I probably need to go back and look at that game. When did he make a tackle? Possession. Oh, here we go. Touches of the ball. And where they were. So, what was I looking at? Where did I want to go? How many touches the ball did Ivanovic have? Because he only passed the ball 8 times. So he had 16 touches of the ball in 76 minutes on the pitch, which is as many touches as Ryan Winter had in 14 minutes on the pitch. So yeah, that's not the best. And Casper Noor had 19 touches of the ball. Coburn had 32. So Ivanovic had, yeah, okay. Okay. Take-ons. Number of attempts to take on defenders while dribbling. Josh Coburn, 1 attempt, 0 successful. Femi Aziz 1-1. Ryan Winter 1-1. Ivanovic 1-1. Condor 1-0. Cooper 1-1. And Tanganga 1-0. Carries of the ball and total distance. Femi Aziz, it was all going through Femi Aziz, wasn't it? 22 carries of the ball with 237 yards. 198 yards of that was progressive towards the opponent's goal line. Yeah. He had a good game yesterday, wasn't he? Very dangerous at times. Extremely dangerous. But then you look after that, who had the most after that? The keeper. Because the keeper was on the ball the most man. In fact, if we go back, touches the ball, who had the most touches of the ball? The keeper's third. Cooper, Kramer, Sturge, and George Evans. And your attacking players, Ivanovic, 16 touches the ball. Although he was on the pitch for 76 minutes, with Coburn 32. So that's probably why Coburn stayed on and Ivanovic got taken off. Miscellaneous stats. So aerial duels. Apparently Ivanovic did not win one. He had 0 and 2. I guess they probably told him maybe not to do that. They were bombing it up to Josh Coburn, and he was probably have to feed off of Coburn. Because he didn't even try it. It's not like he only was involved in 2. Coburn was involved in 14. He won 9, lost 5. Femi is 1 and 1. Jules Saville 0 and 1. Condell 0 and 1. Jake Cooper 2 and 0. So Jake Cooper wasn't even involved in that many aerials. And Tango 1 and 0. That's mad. Okay. So, moving on. The goalkeeper. Shots on target against 8. Goals against 3. Saves 5. Save percentage 62.5. Post shot XG was 2.3. Passes 19. 0 throws. 84.2% were long balls. Average length 51.4 yards. Goal kicks 8. 87.5 of them were long. Average length 54.9. Crosses from Burnley into our box 11. He came out for 1. And they stop percentage of 9.1%. Outside penalty area interactions 2. Average distance from the goal line over the game 13.3 yards. So let's have a look at the shots, and this is insane because the number of shots in the second half takes up two screens. Wow. So above this yellow line is all the shots in the first half, and you can see we held our own. I think we had more shots than them in that first half. Femi's is blocked. Josh Cullen blocked. The goal, 0.52 of a chance, jumps up to 0.83. Goal, 6 yards right foot. Immediately Josh Brownhill, 0.35 of a chance, 0.75 goal, 16 yards right foot. And then we got Coburn off target with his head. Tanganga saved with his head. Jaden Anthony blocked. Brownhill saved. 31 yards out right footed. Coburn hit the woodwork. That was 0.87 XG. 3 yards out with his left foot. Was it? It wasn't his left foot, was it? No, I don't think so. Maybe. Aziz, 19 yards with right foot off target. And then second half, half time, Burnley found out, Leeds are losing, we need to win this game. We actually have the first shot of the half, and then it's Burnley. And then Millwall again. Femi's is saved. 23 yards left foot. And then we go Burnley. And again, then they score 0.21 to 0.45 goal, 14 yards right foot. Jules Saville blocked 20 yards left foot volley. And then Brownhill blocked. Anthony saved. Femi Aziz saved. Jay Cooper off target with his head. Idomi Maku blocked. And then Brownhill scoring from a free kick. 0.1 XG. So as even the manager brings it up, he doesn't normally bring things up like that. I don't really hear him talking about individual things that players have done, like they made a mistake. But in this game, he did mention the 3 goals that they were kind of mistakes and that we should have done better with them. So there you go, there you have it. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.